This week's Around the Bluegrass segment is with my good friend Greg Horn, and we are back at McLeod's on Southland Drive here in Lexington, Kentucky. And Greg and I have been talking about the importance of hope. And I'm going to ask Greg to take it from here and just tell us about his Hope is Here program and how important hope is.
Well, Tom, thanks again for having me. I'm thankful for our long-time friendship that we have, and in fact, I think you even knew me when I had a little bit of hair. So, but it's just an honor to be with you. And Tom, there's a lot of things that I think are overrated in life. Somebody tells you about a new restaurant, and you go and you try it. Yeah, it's a little disappointed, or somebody says, "Hey, man, there's this awesome new movie. You need to go watch it." Then you go, and you're like, don't think I'd go see that one again. But one thing I've found that's not overrated is hope.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that's just been my passion of life. I had three friends within about a year period a couple years ago that just decided that they had lost all hope and they ended their lives by suicide. And I just thought somebody's got to do something about that. And so I started a radio program about 3 years ago, a 14-minute daily radio program to try to encourage people through my own life story, but also through people like yourself, because as we know, Tom, everybody's got a story, right?
Right.
And so I've been doing that, and this one of the things I am so concerned about and want to encourage others is that the number two cause of death for ages 10 to 34 in the state of Kentucky is by suicide. And we just got to talk more about that. And we all know people that are in that age range. And unfortunately, I've done a lot of funerals where people have died because of suicide. And the number one thing is people always say, "Hey, I would have done anything if I would have known about that." And so I'm just wanting people to know we've got to talk more about that. And the key is not letting things getting too stuffed. And you get discouraged, and you get a little more discouraged, and you don't tell anybody. And next thing, a mountain builds up of hopelessness. And I know you've been there at times in your life. I have too. And yet there's always hope. And so one of the things that I've developed just through research and talking with Dr. Melinda Moore, who has a PhD in suicidology, I came up with an acronym that when you get discouraged, maybe you can remember this. And I'm kind of a simple guy, so I just spelled out the word hope, HOPE. And the first, simply, the letter H is to hold on. Just to hold on for 24 hours. There's no saying it's usually darkest right before the dawn, and that's true. But the sun is going to rise again. I'm thankful that God and His creativity gave us 365 days a year, and we get a fresh 24 every morning. And so I just want to encourage people just to hold on just for one more day, because you never know how one phone call, one text, one email could change everything.
Yeah.
And then the letter O is open up to at least one person. Open up to at least one person. And, that's the thing. The number one reason when people do in their lives is they don't tell anybody. And by just telling one person, you let that hopeless mountain, it becomes a lot smaller. People are like, okay, wow, what can I do to help? And once again, people say when they lose a loved one by suicide, they would have done anything if they've known. But I hate this, you don't hear people say this but actually you're selfish when you don't let other people help you. Because if somebody came to you for help, you would help them. Mm-hmm. And I know, Tom, if I called you, you would help me.
Sure.
And, you could call me and I would help you. So, man, just open up to at least one person. And maybe you're like, well, I don't have anybody I can trust. Well, one, you can call me. Go to my website, hopeishere.today, and my contact information's there. But you're like, Greg, it's 3 a.m. There's a national website or a national hotline set up, 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK or 1-800-273-8256. And just please let one person know the burden, the hopelessness that you're carrying, and it just makes that mountain seem so much smaller. The letter P, and this is a big one. Put yourself in a new environment. And that's in fact how you and I met, Tom, when I was in a season of my life where I was really discouraged when a flood wrecked my business back in 1997, and I went from getting ready to be a multi-millionaire to being $2 million in debt overnight. And I realized I had to do something different. If I just focused on the work and the $2 million debt, I wouldn't want to get out of bed in the morning. And so I started attending Toastmasters in Lexington, Kentucky.
Right. That's where we met. Yeah.
And that's how we met. Here we are 24 years later, hanging out together and doing life. But put yourself in a new environment. Do something. Try a new coffee house. Come check out McLeod's. This is a great place, a place full of hope. So, I mean, do something like that. Change your routine. When you isolate yourself, that's when you get hopeless. And so even if you're by yourself, if you're in a group with people like here at McLeod's, it's a game changer. And so I want to encourage you to put yourself in a new environment, try some new activity like Toastmasters. That really helps you. And then the letter E, last but not least, expect to see changes. I talked about you get a fresh 24 hours every day. Well, too many times, I know for me, I've lived in the past, and that's when I get discouraged. And I'll give you a simple visual that I think will help people today, Tom. You got to throw that rear view mirror away.
Yeah.
Throw the rear view mirror away. Too many times we look in the past, and if you're trying to drive your car and you keep looking behind, you're going to wreck. But we can't move forward with life. And here's what I know. We all have tragedies and disappointments, and life's not fair. But when we do it together, there's always hope. So I want to encourage you today. I want to go through this acronym one last time. H, hold on. Please hold on for at least 24 more hours. O, open up to at least one person, please. P, put yourself in a new environment. And E, expect to see changes. The Bible says you walk by faith and not by sight. And if you'll walk by faith, I really believe that things that you see will get better, especially if you include somebody else on your journey. I want to encourage you today, if you need some hope, to go to our website, hopeishere.today. We've done over 900 programs in the last 3.5 years, and there are a lot of powerful stories of people that have overcome great adversity in their life. Had a lady that her alcoholic husband shot her in the head, tried to kill her, and she's miraculously lived. And she has a powerful story of how she stays positive and has hope. And lots of people have been through cancer and divorce and bankruptcy and mental health challenges. And so I just want to encourage you, you can find a story there that will encourage you and say, hey, if they can do it, I can do it, and I can have hope also.
Greg, thank you so much. I've now told you that I listen to your 15-minute podcast every morning while I'm fixing breakfast with my Bose headset on. So it really gets my day started off in a very positive, hopeful banner, and I appreciate that very much.
Tom, thanks so much for having me. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
what you do. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for being with me here around the Bluegrass. And next week I will have my podcast posted on the last day of the month, which is my practice, and look forward to that and doing another Around the Bluegrass segment soon. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.